Hey, what's going on YouTube? I figured I'd do my Game Boy collection today. This is going to include Game Boy and Game Boy Color. I'll go over the systems first, because I have plenty of games to show. I'll go over the original Game Boy and Game Boy games first, and then I'll get into the Game Boy Color after. First we have the original DMG Game Boy. This is the model that came out in 1989. We have a couple different variants here. The red one, which actually originally comes with black buttons and black start and select, but I had extra parts from a original Game Boy. This one, and as you can see, it's the same button layout. I think this looks better than the all black buttons, but yeah, I switched them out. So yeah, it's in pretty good shape, except for the screen cover is a little dinged up. And my personal favorite, which I recently acquired a couple months ago, is the clear Game Boy, or the transparent Game Boy. So you can adjust the contrast on the side and the volume on the side. And the Game Link cable goes in there. Next I'll go over the Game Boy Pocket systems, which plays the games in black and white rather than the green and black like the original Game Boys. I actually prefer the look of these better. They're much smaller than the original. Also have a red one. We have a green one, which is in fantastic shape. It's probably the best condition Game Boy Pocket I have. And a blue one, but it does not have the battery cover. It does work. So, alright, now onto the games. These are games that don't have cases, so these aren't the greatest ones. I'll go from, I guess, the worst ones to the best ones. The Page Master, Home Alone, Gremlins 2, we have Wheel of Fortune, The Smurfs, Fortified Zone, Cubilio. This is actually pretty fun. I should probably put this in a case. Micro Machines, and The Little Mermaid. Yeah, these two just missed the cut on having cases. We also have a peripheral for the Game Boy, the Game Boy camera, which lets you take pictures, which are really crappy quality in today's standards. And you can print them out using the Game Boy camera. You can also use the Game Boy camera for like Pokemon games, I think, too. And other Mario games, I think. Now onto the games with cases. NHL Hockey 95. Defender and Joust. Paperboy. Ren and Stimpy Show, Vidiots. Baseball. It's actually a pretty fun game for the Game Boy. Basic baseball game. Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 2, or Bugs Bunny 2 Crazy Castle. We have Aladdin. A lot of Disney games. We have The Lion King. Toy Story. And Mickey's Dangerous Chase. We have Double Dragon. Double Dragon 2. Pac-Man. And Miss Pac-Man. The first Pac-Man game I ever played was Miss Pac-Man for the Sega Genesis, and I really enjoyed that game. We have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Vault of the Foot Clan, and Back from the Sewers. Battletoads. Tetris. I actually have 2 copies of Tetris because the artwork is a little different on both of them. The name and there's more blocks on this one. I figured I'd keep both. So there's Tetris. Can't have enough Tetris. It's one of the classics for Game Boy. Dr. Mario, another really fun puzzle game that I'm terrible at. And now on to the really good ones. Donkey Kong. Really enjoyed this game. Very long version of the original Donkey Kong with you can do like backflips with Mario and stuff like that. And triple jumps. Donkey Kong Land. And Donkey Kong Land 2. These games are really fun. I believe they were made by Rareware. They were just smaller versions of the Donkey Kong Country games, but they had like, different levels and stuff. Kirby's Dream Land, another good one. This is before Kirby even had his power of copying, the copy ability. Kirby's Dream Land 2, one of my personal favorites on the Game Boy. You can use all of Kirby's friends to help you out, plus he has the copy ability as well. Wario Blast featuring Bomberman. It's pretty much just like a Bomberman game, so it's pretty fun. We have Super Mario Land, which is another one of my personal favorites. Really like the levels and the shooter type levels, the shoot 'em up type levels. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. This is almost like Super Mario Brothers 3 for the NES with the overworld and the different types of power-ups. Really fun game. And then we have Super Mario Land 3, Wario Land. It's where Wario Land got its start, obviously. A lot different from the Mario Land series. And then a game that just got a remake on the 3DS, Metroid 2: Return of Samus. This, unfortunately, is the Player's Choice Edition. I've yet to find a regular version. So there's Metroid 2 for the Game Boy. And the last 4 here are pretty good. Zelda Link's Awakening. It's probably I'd say the best Game Boy Zelda game. Even better than the Oracle of Ages and Seasons, I'd say. This is a really fun game. We have Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, and of course, Pokemon Yellow. I didn't know whether to add Pokemon Yellow to the Game Boy Color games, because this is actually enhanced by Game Boy Color, but I figured I'd just include it with the Game Boy games. So yeah, that's the Game Boy stuff. And I also have a Super Game Boy for the Game Boy games. I'm not sure, but I don't think this can play the Game Boy Color games, but I'm not positive. I haven't really tried it. I have a few trading cards here. Super Mario Land, Dr. Mario, a game I don't own, Yoshi's Cookie, for the Game Boy at least, and Metroid 2: Return of Samus. And we have some instruction manuals, Page Master, Toy Story, Lion King, Vidiots, Tetris, Kirby's Dream Land, Super Mario Land, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, Mario Land 3, Wario Land, Wario Blast, Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Land, Donkey Kong Land 2, Paperboy, Aladdin, Pac-Man, Pokemon Blue, and a rechargeable battery pack AC adapter manual. I also have this little carrying case for the Game Boy as well. So it holds the system and a few games, so that's pretty cool. So now onto the Game Boy Color. We have a few different variant systems here. The indigo or purple. We have the teal. We have the atomic purple, or the transparent purple. The lime green version. The berry, I think they call this one. And the yellow. I have all the color variants. I do not have the special editions, but I do have all the color variant ones. So that's that. First, I'll go over the games that are for Game Boy Color, but also play on the Game Boy. These games are just enhanced by the Game Boy Color. 720. Arcade Hits. Centipede. Mortal Kombat 4. We got Pokemon Pinball without the Rumble Pack cover, unfortunately, or the battery cover. Now we have Rugrats, Time Travelers, Tetris DX. Like I said, these games work on the original Game Boys. They're just enhanced by the Game Boy Color. They have like a different color palette. Game & Watch Gallery 2, Wario Land 2, Frogger, Arcade Classic. This is Link's Awakening DX. It's just the Game Boy version, just deluxe. It has more, I'm not sure, it has more enemies or more dungeons in it, I believe, or an extra dungeon. We have Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver. Yeah, Pokemon Gold and Silver both work on the original Game Boys. And next we have the actual Game Boy Color games. You can tell that they only work for Game Boy because they have the indent there, so you really can't turn on the Game Boy. Let me grab a Game Boy here. We'll grab a Game Boy Pocket. So if you put it in there, it snaps in. Actually, you can turn it on with the Game Boy Pocket. Bad example there. With the original Game Boy. Yeah. See, it can turn on, so yeah, we have Walt Disney Magical Racing Tour. Yeah. Rainbow Six, Tom Clancy. Army Men 2. Gex 3. Deep Pocket Gecko. And then Kirby's Tilt and Tumble. I was going to put this in a case, but it actually doesn't fit because the indent is too big. But yeah, you actually tilt the Game Boy to move Kirby, so it's pretty fun. Next we have The Jungle Book, Mowgli's Wild Adventure, Duke Nukem, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. It's better on the Game Boy Advance, obviously. Croc, SpongeBob SquarePants, Legend of the Lost Spatula. You have Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, Bionic Commando. This is actually a really fun game. I think this is based off the NES game just called Commando, I think it was called. Not positive. And the last two games I have is Super Mario Deluxe. Just a better version of the original Mario Brothers. Actually, this includes like mini games where you can race against Boo to the finish line, and I think you can play versus mode against somebody else with a link cable. So that was fun. And the last game, Pokemon Crystal. This game does not work on the original Game Boys or Game Boy Pocket systems. It only works for the Game Boy Color systems like this right here. This game had different side quests, like a Suicune side quest, as opposed to the Gold and Silver versions. Also had a battle tower, and you can actually choose, I think this is the first game where you can choose whether your character was male or female. So that was cool. So yeah, that's my Game Boy and Game Boy Color collection. I actually have one manual for the Game Boy Color, and that's Super Mario Deluxe. So yeah, I have 69 games, Game Boy and Game Boy Color. So that's my collection, guys. I hope you enjoy, and please thumbs up the video and subscribe to me if you haven't already. Alright guys, later.